You know what they say, they just don't make them like they used to. And regardless of who they are and what they're talking about, chances are there's plenty of weight behind their statement. For us, that thing is games. They used to be harder, you know? It used to take weeks for you to beat a game. And I'm pretty sure that I kept my local Hollywood video in business by renting the same game over and over again. Places like this thrived on the difficulty of ye olde games. Now you can get a game from RedBox and have it beat and back in the machine faster than you can say Cattails. Ooh, why is that? What's changed in the gaming industry and subculture? Well, that's what we want to talk about this week on the Free Play Podcast.
You are listening to the Free Play Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Katawaki, part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network.
What's up, nerds? My name is Bubba Stallcup, Chief Community Nerd here at Love Thy Nerd, and you are listening to the Free Play Podcast, part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network. Joined with me, as always, is our Chief Outreach Nerd, Matt Warmbier.
What up?
Before you did that, you had the look. They can't see this. You had a look on your face like you were going to sneeze. Like I thought you were just going to
my voice is
obliterate the
deep.
microphone.
My voice is deep, so it's hard for me to get those high soprano notes. That was like an alto, but you know what I'm
brag
talking
much?
about.
Yeah.
Golly.
You brag much, bruh.
My voice is so deep.
I'm so cool. I'm Matt
It's me,
Warmbier.
Matt
Everybody
Warmbier.
look at me.
What's up?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know it all.
You shut your mouth right now.
I love PSLs. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, this podcast is over. I'm cutting it down.
Oh, and that other voice you hear over there, as always, is our Chief Social Media Nerd, Kate Katawaki.
Hello.
Love it every
Wow,
time.
just like, ooh, hello.
So matter of fact with
What's
your hello.
wrong with it?
Me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
What, you don't like it?
No, that's the whole point of all of this.
I love it.
Yeah. Why don't you pretend like you were talking to somebody exciting? Like, I don't know. We were talking about the Jonas Brothers earlier. Maybe there's a Jonas brother who's listening. Ready? And our Chief Social Media Nerd, Kate Katawaki.
Hello. I don't know. I don't have anything to say to them. Like,
Maybe I wasn't
I've
clear.
worked
It's
in
a
the same.
Jonas brother.
I've worked in the
Joe
same
Bro.
office as them, and I've seen them all the time. I don't have anything to say. Hello.
What
All right,
did they say to you?
One last time. It's Nicolas Cage.
They said
and
hi.
our Chief Social Media Outreach. Nope. Chief Social Media Nerd, Kate Katawaki. Remember, it's Nick Cage on the other end. Listen.
Wee.
Hello.
I loved you in Ghost Rider. Spirit of Vengeance.
What
Hey,
was
I'd
that
love
movie?
to. I would say if it were Nick Cage on the other end listening, I would say, which of course he is. So I'm talking directly to
I
him.
love you, National Treasure.
No, well, but I did. I have a story about that in just a second. Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
But
You're welcome.
I would say, hey man, loved you in Teen Titans Go to the Movies. Congratulations on finally being able to play Superman. He's the voice
funny.
of Superman in Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
And I would say congratulations on Spider-Man Noir. I didn't know it was you until the end of the movie.
Did you not?
No. I was like, that voice sounds
Oh,
familiar.
man.
Who is that?
Yeah. Yeah, so when you watch Into the Spider-Verse, which you will watch Into the Spider-Verse, listen for old Nicky Cage there. Mr. Face-Off himself.
Okay.
The conest of air, as it were. Yeah, so no, I was saying, you were talking about National Treasure. So,
Good movie.
Always
Yeah.
talking about it.
well, 1 and 2, both, just hallmarks of cinema.
True.
And
true.
so Caleb, my son, he's starting second grade homeschool this week, right? And that's not nearly as exciting to him as his sister starting kindergarten is. Like, she's been counting down the days to start kindergarten. And so anyway, he's starting, like, the very first thing out of the box for him in school is, okay, now we're going to learn about the United States of America. And that dude gets a Declaration of Independence, like, little printout on from his school, and I immediately snatch that thing out of Anna's hand and flip it over because I just know that there's something on the back
and
of
put
that
lemon
thing.
juice on it.
And
Well, Anna wouldn't even check it. I said, hold it up to the stove. Put a hairdryer on
heat
it.
on it.
Yeah. And she's like, no, that's so stupid. And I'm like, well, you're
No.
not wrong, but still.
She would not be saying that if there was a treasure map on the back.
That's what I was trying to say. So I told her, hey, okay, maybe there's not one, but what would be great is if we lemon juiced the back of this thing and put something on there, and then like Caleb kept that for his whole life, and his kids, my grandkids, had that Declaration of Independence that he saved from when he was a kid, and there was a secret message on the back.
I'm not sure.
Why wouldn't
Here's
it-
the thing about kids, it's not going to last that long.
Okay, but we would keep it secret, keep it safe.
Okay, don't ruin that thing. Come on. That's it. That's in your will. It's all you're getting.
Yeah. Oh, that would be so great if that was the only thing we left him.
And
Anna,
it had
make
a
it happen.
treasure on it.
A national treasure.
I am not. Okay, I've got the next 18 years of my life planned out.
Well,
Yeah,
you're
just you know
welcome.
what? Just
Right
use
now.
just use a white crayon on the back of it and write whatever you want, and then
No,
That's probably a
come on,
better idea.
don't-
It'd be easier that way.
yeah,
No,
it could be
I-
whatever. You could say, look,
Lemons, what are they, like 10 cents a lemon?
yeah, but you could put
Well, maybe in
whatever
Texas
liquid
they
on it,
are.
and it'll show up. The secret message. You could write, "Love you, son." That's your inheritance.
Dwight Schrute has a different
Oh, yeah.
liquid that you can put on there,
Yeah,
but we won't do that.
It's pee.
Oh man, hey guys, welcome to the Free Play Podcast. Yeah,
Oh wait,
I'm not warm beer. Oh, what?
no, we already did that. part.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, banter over. On to the next thing. No, but seriously, guys, we are a podcast about, as you can tell, really whatever the heck we want to talk about.
Nick Cage.
games.
Nick
Oh,
Cage.
anything. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Nick Streets of Rage Cage. I would play that game. But we have not only just us on this podcast network. We also have the Humans of Gaming podcast, and we also have the Pull List podcast, and both of them are great at what they do. So Humans of Gaming, we have Chris and Drew, and they talk about all sorts of things related to like the gaming industry, and they'll have people from the industry on the podcast and ask them, why do you make games? What drives you to do this? And they actually talk about their faith background, regardless of what it is. It's not just another Christian spiel or anything like that. They talk about, and they give them the opportunity to share their faith journey, whatever that may be. And we also have the Pull List podcast with Chris and Hector. Different Chris, same Hector, but different person. And they talk about comics, and that is a great podcast. If you guys like comic books at all, if you are into graphic novels, trade paperbacks, they're like ultras or something like that, where they put all of them together like a compendium. Like I've learned
Yeah.
a lot. Well, but they
big
didn't use
word.
the word compendium. Like when they put them all together, I don't know. There's a word for it. It's in the podcast, and you can learn stuff like that. But they also just had an episode. Their last episode has Kevin Eastman, co-creator
Say
of the
what?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, look, that got Matt's attention. He was texting when we were talking.
I already knew it.
things.
And I was actually, I was doing research about Nick
Oh,
Cage.
He's probably texting
Oh,
me.
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
I was
What?
looking at Nick Cage and seeing if he had done any video game voices. Thank
Oh,
you.
Why are you so intense?
Get off his
Intense about
back
Nick
about
Cage.
it.
Sorry.
What were you saying,
But
Bucky?
you're going to want to go and check those podcasts out. That's the Humans of Gaming podcast and also the Pull List podcast. Both and us can be found on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes. We're on the YouTubes. Really,
everything.
anywhere that you can listen, we are on all of the things. And guys, if we are not there, please let me know. Send an email to bubba@lovethynerd.com, and I will do my best with the help of Clausen to get us wherever you listen to podcasts. But I promise it's going to be good if you listen to all these things. I think that every single one of them is great. I'm not going to put them in any particular order, but if you held me against a wall, I would put ours first.
Well, you have like a little, you kind of
Yeah.
invested. So
It depends on what scale you're rating. If it's
Well, it depends on-
smartness level of content, we are not first.
it depends
Still
on
at
the
the
week
top.
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Every week, right at the top. Absolutely. I agree with you guys wholeheartedly. We're the smartest and weekliest podcast that we have. So
We are who
It
we
is what
say
it
we
is.
are.
we are who we are. Great. Now we're going to get flagged.
Turn it up.
Thanks.
Yeah, nope.
Thanks, Matt.
DJ, turn it up.
Well, let's move the show along and talk about the games that we have been playing. This is the part of the podcast, for those of you that are new, where we talk about stuff that we're playing with hopes that you will continue the dialogue. And even though hopefully you're not talking like right now while we're talking.
Just yell at the
that's not
radio box.
No, we can't hear them if they do that.
radio box. Yeah. Podcasts, it's not a two-way medium. It's really one way. But in order to create the two-way medium, hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, and just let us know what games you're playing. Well, Kate, why don't you kick us off? What are you playing?
Okay, well, I know everybody thought I was going to say Cattails, and earlier when we met, I did say Cattails, but I decided I'm going to talk about something else.
Is it because nothing interesting is happening in Cattails?
Yeah, I kind of need to know.
No,
something. You
I
told
do
us you had a story about cattails.
Woo!
Okay, fine. It's just really quick. So,
Okay.
My cats have a kitten. It's in the den.
What's the name?
I named it Gidget after my aunt's cat because I couldn't think of any
Pass.
other cat names. Stop! She's a really...
Yeah, I cannot believe.
She's definitely not sweet. She's definitely not
I can't believe you
sweet.
didn't name it Horpins. You owe me.
I was not expecting that, and I don't know how I wasn't expecting that.
You owe
Okay,
me big
I'll-
time.
written out of
fine.
Matt's
I'll
will.
change the name.
That's the last
You
thing
can
I'm
change
giving you
the
my
name.
will.
Fine, I'll change the name to Horpins. Okay.
Declaration of Independence
So-
with Horpins written
I
on
want
the
to
back
see
of it.
photo evidence.
Okay, so I have a kitten named Horpins, and I'm very excited to have it
Bless
there,
up.
except I have no idea how this mechanic in the game works. You have to like train your kitten to do stuff. And I was excited to see it there, and then I was like,
Well, let's think about how you train.
this is cats.
Life.
This is cats in the wild. Okay, this is a whole
Well, right.
different
Okay,
thing.
okay. All right, hold on. All right, in How to Train Your Dragon, how do they train him?
I don't know. I've never seen the movies.
They just talk to him.
Well, then the Netflix series.
Let's not think about that right now. Let's just say they're just kind. They say easy boy or girl, and it works. So if you try that, easy boy.
Well, I haven't tried yet because my kitten is so little still that it just sleeps
Yeah, it
all
probably
day.
can't
So
hear ya. Just
it
wait till
can't
it doesn't-
hear. I'm trying to just Google like how
Big
it
mistake.
works
Just
in this
figure
game.
it out.
Well, I want my kitten
Yeah.
to be the best one, obviously.
Well, it is if it's
Kids don't come with a manual, Kate.
This isn't. This is
Neither do-
Cattails.
That's what
He
social
said
media
kits.
is for.
He said kits, like kittens.
Kits.
Kitsins.
Kittens don't come with menus.
Okay, so I'll have probably a huge update on my kitten Horpins next week.
Perfect.
Can't wait.
I keep saying that so it ingrains in my memory, so I remember to change the name. Kitten Horpins. Kitten Horpins.
I got you. I'll send you a message right now. Beep boop beep boop boop beep boop. Hey Kate. Hey Siri, send Kate a message.
No, Siri,
No,
don't.
I want to see Kate send Siri a message. That's what I want.
I don't talk to her. We're not on speaking terms. But
Not even slightly surprised.
so besides the kitten, I have listed here donkey games. You might be wondering, what is that? I've never heard of that game.
I know what it is.
Okay, well, some people might not. So I'm just going to say it. So I go once a week to my friend's ranch and I
Donkey
work.
farm.
It's not a donkey farm. it's not
They
like
don't
your
grow donkeys there, yeah.
twisted Red Dead glue farm. It's nothing like that.
Oh, save it for the podcast.
No, they
Bad
rescued
transition.
these donkeys from basically this kill pen in Texas where they were either going to, Bubba's people were either going to buy these donkeys or kill them.
Hold on.
It's
Whoa,
from
pause.
Texas.
My people?
The
What do you
donkeys
mean by
came.
my people.
The donkeys came from Texas. What do you have to say for yourself?
Fair enough. Carry on. Yep.
So there's 9 of them, I think, something like that, and 2 mini horses. And I go over there and I play games with them. I set up these games because animals need games too. It's very important for their brain and body development and their rehabilitation because they're all like abused and starving and all this stuff. And they why are you
talking like that too right now?
Why are you laughing?
She's yelling at me. She's yelling at me.
Yeah, I felt like that was very directed at us.
I have nothing but love for little
wasn't.
miniature horse things.
Pins. Mini Horpins.
You know my love for Horpins.
Okay, well, because it's sad. That's why I'm directing it at you because it's sad.
Yeah, yell it
you
at
know.
Bubba. No,
They-
yell at
I'm
him.
lowering
I
my
felt-
voice.
He feels it.
Here we go.
It's
Gooseverba.
it's very sad. So I go over there and I play games with them and I teach them this is kind touch. This is, we're going to feed you. We're going to play games with you, and animals thrive.
I saw your little, what was it? Piñata.
My little piñata. Animals thrive when you give them games, right?
That donkey was crushing it.
It's
by
not
the
just
way.
people. Yeah, these donkeys, there were 2 of them who were really killing it. So here was the game was I had this like gallon jug. I think it was a milk jug somebody gave me, and I cut some holes in it so that this stuff treats could fall out, and I put some carrots in there. And carrots with carrot tops plants, and then I strung it up on a tree.
See what you did there? Yeah.
And didn't then you just walk away and you let them figure it out. It's like I didn't give them a tutorial. I just said, here's the thing, figure it out. And they're like, well, we don't know. What is this? These donkeys went at it hard, a couple of them. They're ripping stuff out. This one ripped a whole thing out and it hit this other donkey in the face, and she was like stunned. She like stepped back and was like shaking her head like, what just happened? And then I'm so proud of her though,
Isn't it
because
just a milk carton though?
but look, this is exactly how it is with humans with games. You lose a level, you shake it off, you come back, and then you destroy it. Right? This is what she did. She came back and she owned it. Her name's Whitney. Her name's say her name. Her name's Whitney, short for Whitney Houston. This donkey.
Oh,
Seriously.
I'll allow it. Yeah, I'll allow it that. Yeah.
Her name's
She
Whitney
just wants
Houston.
to dance with somebody.
She
Just
does.
wants to eat some carrots with somebody.
She was really great at this game, you guys. So
Did you log her BG stats for her?
no,
Yeah, 100%.
she doesn't have a phone.
Did you ever ride a donkey before?
No, and I have no
One
urge.
of these donkeys?
No, I have no
would
urge.
have
I don't want
the
to.
giant urge too.
They wouldn't be able to carry your weight.
Uncontrollable.
I would realize that, but you're
That's
a lot
Hold on, let's
smaller
be
than me.
fair. Matt, your legs are long enough. You're touching the ground anyway. You can
No,
relieve
but these
some of that
these
stress.
are
We'd
mini
help each other run.
donkeys.
We'd help
maybe
each other run.
Maybe if it was a normal sized donkey, you could do it. But some of these are really small. You would like kill them sitting on them.
I need to see pictures for comparison.
I sent.
Like
There was that
No, I
picture.
need
Of me
with,
next
like
to him.
you next
Okay.
to one.
I'll make it
Yeah,
happen.
or like maybe like they do like put your hand next to it
What?
for comparison.
Okay.
Just ride it. Let's see, because I know how big you are.
No, I'm not going to be riding it.
Oh, gosh.
So,
You won't
what
do
I'm saying
anything except
is-
name your stuff Horpins for me.
If you guys, just you in the world, have animals, make games for them because they love it. Usually, not all animals, just like not all people like games, but it's going to be a huge, crucial part of all these donkeys, all named Horpins, recovery.
Well,
Hey, hold on. I thought 3 of those donkeys had very specific names.
Oh, I said Bubba, Matt, and Kate.
that's the
Yeah,
one.
absolutely.
3 of them that are in a pen, and they're the smallest, scrawniest ones. And one of them is the other one's baby. So,
Dibs.
What? What's that even mean?
I wanted to make sure.
got
They're
it.
so-
You're right. You
they're
followed
so
the rules
like
of dibs.
abused.
They're yours.
They're so treated bad that you shouldn't even laugh because they're so skinny. And they don't even know how to play games. I gave them this little treat roller thing, and they didn't even know how to interact because no one's ever.
They're like,
played with them or had
WT
fun with
fun
them.
is this?
Isn't that sad?
What the fun is
Did
this?
you give them the manual? Is there a watch it played?
I show them if they're really that struggling with
Would've
it,
been nice to know.
and I show them how to do it. So
You should make a tutorial video, and play it for the donkeys and film the donkeys watching it. That's what I want to see.
You need to
For my
dress up like a
channel?
donkey. You
For my
dress
YouTube
up
channel?
like a donkey
no.
to show the donkeys. This is great news.
Look, I don't know why you guys are laughing. This is like therapeutic work with
Hey,
animals, and you're laughing.
Kate.
Because we just had a genius idea.
It's not stupid.
Well, I wouldn't call it genius. I'd call it baller.
Come on, Matt.
Baller idea.
Voila.
Baller.
Okay,
Kate,
whatever.
hey, hold on. I'll just say,
Next,
Kate,
what have you-
I'm so happy you are finding ways to love animals who need love. And we will make all these jokes, but I'm glad you're doing stuff.
I'm covering my eyes, and I just uncovered one to see if he was being serious.
This is for
It
real.
looks-
He 100% is. And the world needs more people who are nice to these horse-like animals because Matt is doing some serious
How dare
work.
you segue to me like that? I don't want any of these horses to die. All right, so here I am. I've got
So you
Bob
sent
Merrill.
them to a kill pen in Texas.
I've got Bob Merrily, and I'm on this mission. And Charles is like, "Hey, do you
We're
want
in
to
Red
take?
Dead Redemption 2,
Yeah,
friends.
do you want to take the canoe to this place, or do you want to ride horses? It's pretty far." And I was like, thinking about Bob. I'm like, man, this is a pretty long hike, and I don't often get to ride in a canoe in this game. So I was like, let's do the canoe. So we canoe upstream a long way, and we get out into like it's like Butcherville or Butcher Town. It's like where people butcher
you
stuff.
You should have known.
Whatever. No, so
no,
we're okay. So we get there, and Charles is like, hey, it's still a ways up here. We could walk, or we could just steal these horses and get them back by morning. I was like, well, if we get them back by morning, we'll be fine. So, we go up, we take these guys out. I rescue this woman who had been taken captive by these crazy dudes, and I'm running her back to her hometown. And I had forgotten that I wasn't on Bob Marley. And so, like, the sun is like, this is an excuse, I realize. The sun is in my eyes, and I cannot see the trail very well. It takes a really sharp turn. I'm trying to watch the map. I end up going down into this ravine. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm just going to, like, ride it up on the other side. It'll be fine. So I rode up, like, tried to go up several times. I'm, like, sliding back down. I'm like, what is wrong with you, horse? Just make this happen. You are a strong thoroughbred. You're not, some Kentucky Walker. What is
Tennessee
Kentucky?
Walker.
Tennessee Walker.
Kentucky is where you're from.
No, I thought that was a whiskey.
It is whiskey.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You're not some chump Tennessee Walker. Like, you can do this. So I tried again, and he decides to slide. And on the way back down, he decides he wants to jump over some imaginary thing. And I didn't press the button. He jumps. This girl is on the back of my horse, and we both just fly off, like sliding down this hill. She like rolls into the stump, and I was like, all right, you freaking horse. I'm still thinking it's Bob Marley. I'm like, all right, where is he? And like, can't find him. So I walk up the hill a bit. There he is, dead on the ground.
Looked, watching the video, because there is video evidence of this.
Yeah.
It looked like that horse just tripped over a rock or something.
It was
it's like,
nothing.
This is it. I'm dead.
He just felt, he must have fallen like right on his face and broke every bone in his body.
It was like a Final Destination moment. Where,
he was done. Like he was destined to die right there. And I'm thinking, like, Aaron was next to me, and I was like, "You have got to be kidding me! You've got to be kidding me!" Like, I don't want to lose another horse. I know what happens in the story. Someone spoiled it for me. And I'm like, blankety blank blank. The game's almost over. I don't want to have to bond with another horse. And I now have to walk this girl back to her hometown because I don't want to like kill anyone in front of her. I don't want to lose my reputation. I don't want to steal someone else's horse. So I walk her all the way back, and then Aaron's like, was that even your horse? I thought you borrowed that horse from someone. I was like, yes, that was not Bob Marley. That horse can die. That's fine.
Oh my god.
I mean, I didn't want him to die, but I'm glad that it wasn't Bob Marley. He's my last horse. We are at full bond right now. We're feeling good. He's feeling good, at least. I'm feeling
happy for you.
Mediocre.
That horse is not long for this world.
Well, we'll see about that.
Maybe just leave him parked for the rest of the game.
Just walk everywhere.
I have 2 horses right now because I just need a backup.
Again.
He's not. The other one's not named. He's just horse 2.
Real
I haven't had a
person
chance to name him.
Is that your bird box horse or what? Like,
He's just like he hangs out.
girl.
She hangs out at camp, just in case I need her.
What's her? Oh,
no name.
you already said it. You already said it.
It'll probably be Horpins.
Just name it.
How do you make
Horpinita? It's a lady version. It's a lady version of Horpins. I have no idea.
My stomach hurts from all.
I'm really close to finishing the game. Just reached chapter 6. I can already feel the tension. I'm trying not to give any spoilers here, but it's gonna be good and bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I also picked up Root, and Root is a really wonderful tabletop game. I played it 3 times this past
And by
week.
played it, you mean you stacked all the meeples and
I do
took
both.
a picture
I do
of
both
it.
hand. I do both hand. Those cats stack so well.
Are you just playing cats?
I've only played cats because I want to get used to them.
You mean cattails?
Yeah, and then I taught Ezra how to play Marquis de Cats. so then I can move on to the Alliance
Okay.
with the Forest Alliance.
Yeah.
Yep. That's about it.
So I mean, like, who are you playing with?
Avon, he gets it. We learned to play together. We made the
Really?
first game we played. We made quite a few mistakes, and we had to go back and be like, all right, we did this wrong and this wrong and this wrong, and then we played again, and it was almost like right on rules. And we both understood it, and then we just missed like one thing, and then the third game we played, he just destroyed me.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yep.
That reminds me
very
of
tenacious.
something else that I played, but I'll save it for next
Save
week.
it for next week. Yeah.
Yeah, save it for the podcast, please.
Yep.
Sweet.
So it's been great. It's been such a fun game. I hope you play it a few more times, but we will be talking about it on Beard Bros Game Show every Friday, except this week. It'll be yesterday when you hear this, probably.
And you probably
It's
missed it.
The distant future.
Jeez.
The distant future. It is the
Freaking
distant
Umbrella Academy
future.
right now,
It
jumping
is
all over the
the
place in your timeline.
year 2019. Whatever. Bubba, what have you been
yeah,
playing?
You're not wrong. I am doing this thing on Instagram. I don't know if I've mentioned it before. This Bubba Plays a Game a Day challenge.
Everybody follow that hashtag. You
Hashtag
won't be
that.
sorry.
Play the game a day.
Yeah, you can follow that on Instagram or Twitter.
Yes.
I'm heavy on the Instagram side, and Kate is heavy on the Twitter side.
You should
No,
not
we
say,
run our own Twitters, that's for
you
sure.
shouldn't say that. Whatever. Anyways, moving on away from this.
Why away from it? Anyway,
I don't.
yeah. So I've been playing a lot of games. I play a game a day, so it's really not hard for me to come up with things to play or to talk about, rather. And I had a new game. I told you guys about it maybe a week ago, 2 weeks. I can't remember exactly. Village Pillage that came in from Kickstarter. Remember me talking about this?
Yes.
Kate's giving me a head nod.
I really do. I'm not lying.
This is like a really quick card game that plays in about 30 minutes, and it's multiplayer. You can play it 2-player, which is fine, but it's not really designed to duel. It's designed to play with a bunch of people around. So what happens is, like, you're going to play a card to your right and a card to your left, and that card is going to either be blocked or it's going to allow you to get through. And you're trying to steal turnips. That's the whole point of the game.
I love that.
Oh, like
You're
Mario
collecting
2.
turnips exactly like Doki Doki Panic.
Right.
And so you're trying to steal these turnips in order to purchase upgrades inside of the game. And by upgrades, I mean you're just trying to get like 3 victory tokens. Each one costs incrementally more turnips.
They should have had it
But-
be beets.
Well, Anna, she was like, "Are they beets or are they radishes or what?" And the game just says they're turnips. So
Interesting.
I guess they can be whatever you want them to be. They're just little purple, maroonish, plum-looking majiggers. I think that's a technical term. But been playing that, and I like the game. I think it's really fun because if you're playing 2-player, like you have to play 2 cards down. And you play 1 card, and then you're actually playing another card for the next round. So, like, you have to kind of think ahead. And there's, like, a block and attack mechanic and all sorts of stuff. But Village Pillage, I don't think it's available yet because the Kickstarter just fulfilled. But if you get a chance, go ahead and play that. War Chest. Matt,
Oh.
I bought it, and I have not been able to play it yet.
you've not played it?
We've been, like, knee-deep in Root. Or is it dirt deep in Root? We've been deep in Root. It's Root.
Dirt deep in Root. I like it.
I wanted to play today, and I didn't have time.
Well, there will be time after this podcast. So go do that.
Okay.
Just do
But
it.
War Chest is the type of game that it is it's an abstract strategy game. And that is like, if you've ever played chess is an
Yes.
abstract strategy
played
game.
it.
Checkers is an abstract strategy game. It's basically just a strategy game that doesn't matter what the theme is. This one happens to be like knights and, war and all sorts of stuff. But it's really fun. I played against Anna and she demolished me. Absolutely just ground me into a fine powder. And she does this thing where she's always like, well, I'm not very good at this game. It just,
She's always good at all the games and beats you.
yeah, she hedges at the very beginning. She's very apologetic. She's very, self-deprecating. And then she just pummels me. And
Well, that'll teach you.
I don't need to be taught, man. I bought the game.
That'll teach you to buy it.
Yeah,
I'll
should've
learn,
known.
yeah.
But it's really fun. If you can get a copy of War Chest, you can go and get it off Amazon. It's fun. It has a slight learning curve. I would say it's about medium difficulty learning, but once you understand, because each one of the little chips does a different thing, it's another unit, so it has different movement and stuff like that.
I mean, it's like chess, where each unit has its own movement style.
Yeah, it's basically chess. Matt, you have another game, Hermetica, that has similar stuff. Each one of the pieces has different movements and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, these abstract strategy games. We talked about Hive the other week. Hive is an abstract strategy game. Loads of fun.
I bought that.
I was actually
Hive Pocket.
Yeah.
If you're going to get Hive Pocket. It is significantly cheaper, and you get two of the 3 expansion.
Oh
codes.
yeah.
And I mean, they're not like they're maybe a third of the size of the normal ones, which is not a big deal.
No, it's fine.
Yep.
You can still see the bugs.
Yep.
And that's really all that matters.
That's what you need to do. Yeah.
And then last thing I'll talk about here is that we played Chronicles of Crime Noir. Matt and I talked about. Matt and I talked about Chronicles of Crime and the Noir expansion on this past week's episode of Beard Bros. And if you haven't watched that, I encourage you to go back and watch it. We kind of dive pretty much into Chronicles of Crime and talk about the mechanics of it and why you should have it as a part of your gaming library. But before doing that, we played the Noir expansion. And if you've played Chronicles of Crime, guys, it adds so much more to it. There's an intimidate mechanic where you can literally punch somebody in the face until they tell you what you want them to say, it's just like real life. And then there's also a bribe mechanic, which allows you to pay people to get information, because it's all set in like the 1920s era of LA. And Anna loves these games. She absolutely loves crime stories, and just solving problems and all sorts of stuff. So if you are looking for a cooperative game that will take time to play, these are not necessarily quick plays because you got to solve mysteries, I would recommend Chronicles of Crime. And just start with the base game. And then once you get into it, I think we decided, Kate, was that right? Did you do the math? You can get the whole thing for about $100, like base game plus expansion.
I mean, I just deleted the note that I wrote it down on. So
say ish,
sure.
100
Yes.
ish.
Approximately, yeah, approximately.
About $100. You can get the whole thing, all the expansion stuff that's out right now, including downloadable scenarios and everything. And the cool thing is, not a sponsor, by the way, but the cool thing is they just released, like the other day, up to the public, a community scenario builder. So if you want to create the free play podcast scenario, a real whodunit chicken peck, then you could do that.
Well, speaking of that, there was my detective video in that Beard Bros episode. That if you want to see a real crime, you can watch that.
I want to see all the crimes.
We should post that. We should post that to Twitter. Just the video.
I'll see if it'll fit with the length.
It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
I don't know. I think
We'll
upload it to the YouTubes. And
there
then
we go. Yeah.
We'll let the Google machine take care of all the heavy lifting. But those are some of the games that we've been playing. I want to play more games. I want to play Red Dead. I want to play Spider-Man. I want to play. I got Kingdom Hearts. It's just burning a hole in my Xbox. I want to play all these games, but there are really only X number of hours in each day. We played another game of Drop It last night because my kids wanted to play. And when your kids ask you to play a game, as a nerdy dad, it's just you have to play the game. You want to really feed that hobby love, stoke that fire for the hobby in their hearts. So,
how thoughtful.
It's what I do.
When I was a kid, a nerdy kid, my parents, instead of fostering it, said, "Oh, you only have an hour each day to play, so okay, good."
Said, brush your teeth.
Yeah. No, my dad said floss, please, and I did not.
Oh, well,
because there's no
that's
point.
why you only got an hour.
Yep, that's why you have veneers.
I do not,
You're
for the
welcome. All right,
record.
moving
These
on.
are my.
Well, guys, those are some of the games that we've been playing. Again, not really
They
all
look
of the
good,
games
Kate.
that we've been playing.
What?
They look good.
You're talking about her teeth right now?
Yeah, look good.
They
Yeah.
had better look good. Daddy put a lot of money into those teeth, so.
Well,
Kate didn't have birthday monies for the first 18 years of her life.
Birthday braces.
She got a tooth a year.
I did have birthday braces 2 times.
I was just making that up.
Well, I guess it wasn't birthday. I don't know. It was just I had to have braces twice and it sucked.
Yeah.
And she had them on her birthday, so the math works out. Yeah.
What were we saying, Bubba?
I was just saying that those were some of the games that we've been playing.
Oh,
yeah, that's
we
right,
were
of
playing
course.
games, yeah.
If you guys are playing games, please, like I said at the top of the show, just let us know. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. You can just go at Love Thy Nerd, or if you want to hit us up on Twitter, at Free Play Podcast, and we would love to know what games you are playing. And maybe we'll play those games and talk about them here, or maybe even talk about them on the Beard Bros Game Show.
Or read
Who
your
knows?
tweet aloud here
Or
on
we'll
this
read
here
your tweet.
podcast, which is a huge
Ooh-wee.
privilege.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome in advance. Why, Kate, don't laugh at that, because
Oh,
then
sorry.
it loses
For
its
real.
significance.
Oh.
It's a
Mhm,
privilege.
Yeah. Here.
Yes. Dilly dilly. Absolutely. All right, well, moving the show right along. Guys, today we are talking about how not so hard games are right now.
Well,
I think I pretty much nailed it. Yeah.
ish.
Ish.
Yeah. So the general idea here, right, is that games have been insanely difficult in the past. Any of us that grew up with a Nintendo Entertainment System, a Sega Genesis, I would say all the way probably up until the GameCube era, like Dreamcast, kind of.
I would agree.
Disc-based games.
I would
I would say, like all the way up until about the N64 kind of era. But when games started going on discs, and you started, maybe even 64, you started having like memory cards and stuff like that. It feels like the games kind of shifted a little bit. They weren't nearly as difficult as they had been. I can remember, I have vivid memories of almost breaking Super Nintendo controllers. Like, as a kid, because I would grip it so hard and I would just fold it or try to fold it in on itself. Or I had controllers with chips on the rounded parts of my SNES controller because I had chucked it into the wall or against a door frame.
That'll teach it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like
it
me and
didn't.
my brother one time. My older cousin lent us his Nintendo 64, and we were like, wow, this is so cool.
It was.
And we were playing Mario 64, and somehow something went wrong and awry, and my brother and I got in a huge fight, and I'm pretty sure I punched him, and he kicked me, and my mom took it away. And that was the last time I played a Nintendo 64.
Still has it. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, still grounded from the N64. I got you.
Yeah, sucks to suck.
But games used to be so much more difficult. And here's a short list, right, of some of the games from our memory. We talked about this a little bit before the show. Of games that were just insanely difficult, like almost why so hard difficult. And you may have differing opinions of these games, but this is our list. Ninja Gaiden. Any one of them. I feel like they only got harder.
Yeah.
As one was easier than two was easier than three, and one was impossible. I never beat that game. And even right now, like it's out on the Switch for like the Nintendo, entertainment games that they have. And they have like a new game plus, like a special where it starts you like almost at the end and it gives you all sorts of stuff. And I die immediately anyway. Like it doesn't help to have all the power-ups for me in Ninja Gaiden. I can't. It's
Well, I don't know. Quit your job.
well, okay. Matt, you said Metal Gear.
Yeah, the original Metal Gear on NES was stupid.
I don't think anybody's beaten it.
Well, somebody probably somewhere is beating it in like a half hour, but not me.
I'm pretty sure it has a 0% completion. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. It's just, it's too hard. Kate was talking about Mario games.
Mm-hmm.
How many Mario games did you beat as a kid, Kate?
Just the one. Just Super Mario Land. And that just about ended my life.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I just...
It wasn't dramatic at all. Yeah.
And I've beaten Super Mario Sunshine, but that was not
Doesn't
like
count.
Super
That's
Mario
GameCube.
Land.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not like that. I'm not playing any Mario games for a long time after this. I have like Mario PTSD.
Well, I'm glad that you're better now.
Transistor
Yeah, I've healed, and I'd played Odyssey.
stresses.
So.
Yeah, Matt, that's exactly what it was. Yeah. Thanks for working that out. Also, I'm saying Zelda games.
Well, you're
Like,
wrong.
No,
Zelda
I would
1.
say yes. I would agree.
No, here's the thing. I did some research, and
Oh, okay, you did
Zelda
research.
on the NES was the very first game that had save, like being able to save your game, like the very first.
Right.
But it was still
It was
hard.
still hard.
Well, did you try?
I don't think that I did. I want to say yes, but my heart won't
The
let me.
game was hard, but at least you could save it after you beat a dungeon. Like you weren't having to start from zero, like all these other games we're talking about. Like when you're dead, and you're finished. Like at least this lets you start from where you were, sort of.
Right. It lets you save, but I don't feel like that helped me even in the slightest.
Well,
Because I still had to get to a save point.
no, you did not. Get out of here. What game are you talking about?
The Legend of Zelda.
On NES?
Yes.
We'll talk about this later. You're wrong though.
Here's
Move
the
on.
deal. You don't understand how bad I was at that game.
Is that why you hate all the
I mean-
games now?
No. But that leads me to Zelda 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
The Electric Boogaloo, the worst game.
No, that
in the
I would
history of
never
games.
play that one again.
Do you remember when I tried fairly recently to
It's
sit down
awful.
and stream
It's
playing that
so
game?
bad.
Couldn't do it.
It's so
Couldn't do it.
hard. That game is so hard.
Yeah. It's just
I'll give
punishing
you.
for no
I'll
reason.
give you that one.
Yeah. Well, I don't want it. So
Well,
What else you got?
I thought that I played Zelda Link to the Past on Game Boy Advance, and it came out in 2002. I just looked it up and was like, when the heck did this game come out? So I got it right after it came out, and I thought it was really hard. I was probably in 5th or 6th grade.
which one was this?
Link to the Past.
Oh,
It was on
that's one of
SNES.
my favorite.
Yes, same.
But I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
For me at that age, it was hard. I don't know if I played it now if it would actually be hard. I don't really remember, but like specifics of certain things. But I bought one of those guide books, and it was like my prized
As you
possession.
do,
And I'm
yeah.
like, oh,
Absolutely.
this is so awesome! Look at all this
will
stuff,
you
and I was
put that in your
totally
will for
nerding
me?
out. It's gone. I don't know where it went.
But it has a message on the back of it wherever it is.
Yeah, to the
said-
national treasure.
Yeah, it just says get good.
No, it's probably that room with all the coins in it. Go on.
What? What room?
The secret room.
The secret room where Brad got his name put in the game or whatever. The guy.
Kate
I don't
doesn't
know
know.
what
The
you're
kid.
talking
Kate doesn't know.
Never mind.
But also, so before we get too far, also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on
Go,
the
Matt.
NES.
Go. Say whatever line you're going to say.
Man, who is this spasmatic? He's a scientist. Yeah, fascinating. Hey, isn't Oprah on? Raph, just leave it. We're watching April. Go ahead. That game was
so-
rough. I remember finding like 2 rooms where you could like reclaim turtles, and I was like, I've done it. Yes. But you didn't do it. Nobody did.
Well,
it.
that game, that particular game, like even sat outside of the ethos of and the mythos of what turtles were. Like there were bosses or like enemies in that game that you're like, who is this? What is this thing? It didn't matter. And then there was that impossible level where you're like swimming through all of the
Oh yeah, the mines.
the shock stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was just impossible. And Ghostbusters. So a lot of these from my memory are from the Nintendo, like regular NES. And Ghostbusters was another one of those. Like I've sat down as an adult to play that game without a cheat sheet or anything like that, and I can't get past the part where you're supposed to be driving from one spot to the next. You're taking Ecto 1, and it always seems to run out of gas. And I'm like, well, I don't know how to get more gas. So you can roast me in the comment section below. Friday the 13th.
Awful game.
Matt,
Sounds hard.
terrible game.
Yep.
But even, I mean, like fighting Jason, like you can watch speedrunners do all of these games, right? But like as a kid, when you're growing up, these are all impossible. Punch Out. Yeah, you could use a code to get to Mike Tyson or Mr. Punch Out. What was his name? Mr. Dream. There it was.
Not Mike Tyson.
No, well, lawsuits and whatnot, they changed it to Mr. Dream. So you could use a code, but then you still had to beat him. And if you didn't know if you couldn't hit frame perfect and all that stuff, then you just got roasted. And I feel like that happened to me a lot. And then Battletoads. Like, everybody loves Battletoads, but they forget how difficult it is until they actually play that game. And there's that level where you're riding the motorcycle things.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. That's the power off point. So we have nothing but examples of all of these games that are just like difficult. And like Matt said, it was mainly because there were no save states, right? But all these games are just like punishing. But this is all we had. Like, you either played this game or you didn't play games.
That's what games were.
Yep.
Yeah. You didn't have to tell anybody to get good because it was just understood that that's what everybody did.
Or you didn't play.
Oh, yeah. Or, you watched other people play, or you just wasted quarters at, the arcade or whatever. Like, games weren't meant to be, I would say, quote unquote, necessarily super duper fun and encouraging. It was like this gauntlet, this test of strength, really, and endurance and willpower when we were growing up as kids. But we loved it. We ate it up. We kept playing. I still don't know to this day if I've ever beaten Super Mario Bros. 1. Like, not the Mario
That's
Bros,
okay.
but Super Mario Bros.
That's all right.
I think I have
You're all right.
once.
Like, I just have these images in my brain of like, I know how far I've been, but I kept playing it. Like, I have very vivid memories of the first stages of a lot of these games.
Oh, yeah.
But that's kind of where games were. Let's talk about where they are now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are still games. Let's preface this. There are still games that are very hard, very punishing, will make you want to break your controller and all sorts of stuff. And Kate, what are some of those games?
Anything remotely related to Dark Souls.
Yeah, that's going to be
Anything.
Demon Souls,
What's that term?
Bloodborne.
Like Soulsian games.
Yeah.
It has its own term now.
Yeah. Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne 2 when it comes out. Games like that. Neo, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Super Meat Boy. Ever heard of him?
Matt says no. Yeah.
Isn't that from Aqua Teen?
Oh, yeah. What is it?
Meat Boy.
Meat Boy, make
Meat
the
wad.
money, see.
Meat wad.
There it is. Meat wad, get the money,
Wow,
see.
that's a name.
I love that show. But yeah, that's, and we'll just kind of lump things into that category of like really difficult platforming, of which there's Celeste. You talked about that, Kate.
Yeah.
Pre-show. Cuphead fits into that as well.
Cuphead is like, I don't know. It's like in this category of these difficult games, but the art makes it stand out as something totally different. But at its root, I think it is the same. So sorry, keep going.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Well, no, like that's the point too, right? Like, they wanted to create a game that didn't feel like it belonged in this era of
just
gaming.
so
Period.
cool.
Everything about it is
Awesome.
long ago.
Yeah.
So like I feel like people miss this. Like, they want it so much so that they're creating their own mods of games or their own games. Like Super Meat Boy was an indie title. You look at AAA titles and they're what we're about to talk about here in a minute. But some of these indie titles or these mods, like Kaizo Mario. I don't know if you guys have heard about that.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a mod of Mario that is impossible. Think of like the worst, hardest Super Mario Maker level that you've ever seen or heard about, and then crank that up to 11.
Jeez. It sounds terrible.
But yeah, absolutely. And like this kind of platformer is very popular in the video game, subculture. And streamers really love it. what's that game like? Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. You know, where you're just this torso trying to climb up a hill. You know, like that's an indie game, but it's painfully hard and very, 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 very punishing. So like these games are still out there and there's still a desire for them. I think that's because AAA studios they're not feeding this this beast. They're not scratching that itch for gamers.
They're not hearkening back to the good old days of painful gaming.
Good old boys.
Okay.
Never doing no harm. We're gonna get flagged for so much in this
We're
episode.
fine.
No, not if nobody says anything. Just
We have a
just
couple.
nobody say
We have a
anything.
couple freebies, right?
Yeah, I think you get 30 seconds apiece. So we're
Yeah,
good.
we could. So what's changed?
What?
What's changed?
Kate, what's changed?
Oh,
about...
I didn't know you were talking to me.
Yeah, what's changed? Not
No,
about.
Matt's changing the subject. He
Yeah,
just
what's?
wants
I'm
to
just
know.
moving on here. What's changed?
Sorry.
I'll tell you what I think's
I'm
changed.
pulling
Yeah,
it together.
let's hear it.
Slowly.
I think that the culture just in general has changed. Like not necessarily gaming culture, but our culture has changed. It's the blue ribbon participation kind of, you know, culture that we've created that, hey, everybody gets a chance. Everybody's going to get to win. Hey, don't worry, that game's too hard for you. Man, we're going to help you out. We're going to get you all the way to the end. Don't worry about it. Just, hey, dial the difficulty down. Just get through it.
Just watch a YouTube video. It's like you play the game.
Yeah. So I think of like Call of Duty. Honestly, like there are some parts of Call of Duty which is in the campaign that are really hard to get through, but you can just roll the difficulty down and then you're fine. Or it feels like at some point like the AI just kind of eases up a little bit on you. So, you know, I mean, it just like games are not really that hard anymore. And I think it's because of that, you know, participation ribbons. We want everybody to feel special.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's like, I don't know. People don't want to have those like frustratingly terrible experiences like how we did with games like growing up. I mean, did I have fun doing the whole Super Mario Land thing?
Yes.
Kinda.
No?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, when I beat it in the end, it felt great, but I haven't touched it since then. I think in just society's definition of fun has changed. Fun meaning like you make it all the way to the end in a game, no matter how much you suck.
Yeah.
I wonder if we are, I'm sure we are, we're buying more games.
Yes.
So if you want someone to actually make it through your game, like thinking back to when we were younger, like you would play Mario for a year, no problem, or more. You'd keep going back to it. Where now there are so many more new games, new graphics, new stories, new, that in order to hold your attention, do they have to kind of dumb it down in some ways?
Yeah. If your
Probably.
game gets too hard, will they just move on?
Move on. Yeah, and you'll
Yeah.
be done. No one's going to talk
And
The
to you.
answer is yes.
There never used to be such a thing as a backlog like there is now. I mean, if there was, it
that's
wasn't
true.
to the extent that it is now. That's for
That's
sure.
true. And
So-
yeah, I mean, I think it also has to do with entitlement. Like, I paid $60 for this game, and I couldn't beat it. Like, people legit take games back to GameStop because they couldn't beat it, and then
see
get
That.
they get really mad when GameStop is like,
Nope.
is there anything wrong with the game? And they're like, no.
It's impossible.
beat
That's
it.
what's wrong with it. It's impossible.
That's exactly what I did to The Witcher 3. I just realized how embarrassing.
Oh no.
Way to
Then I
cross
bought
it
it
out.
back. I bought it back later and I beat the whole thing and it was fine. Just to like redeem myself. But I have
This-
done that.
The entitlement nature of gamers, this doesn't have anything to do with how hard a game is, but it's applicable news right now. Anthem is already discounted on Amazon, and it just came out like a week ago.
I saw that.
Sony
Really?
is Sony is offering refunds, no questions asked, because of like game breaking bugs and stuff like that. So So gamers, you guys remember what happened with No Man's Sky, like that whole thing. Like gamers feel entitled that when I spend my $60, I'm expecting this thing. They don't want. I'm painting with a very broad brush, so just take it with a grain of salt. Gamers don't necessarily want the experience that the developers are trying to give them. They want the experiences that they want.
Exactly.
So I go in with expectations with this game. If it does not meet said expectations, game-breaking bugs aside, I think that that's perfect reason
or
to...
false advertising in the sense of No Man's Sky. We're talking about pure gameplay, actual gameplay.
But let's also be real with the No Man's Sky issue that just because you couldn't play with your friends doesn't make it an unplayable game.
Also that, yes.
Yeah, anyway. But I think that it's this, my expectation is not met in this game, so I'm just not going to play it anymore. Rather than trying to understand what it is that the developer was trying to get across in said game.
Yeah.
That being said, some games are actually legitimately shallow, and there is nothing to really get.
Yeah, and that's leads to the next thing of what's changed is now we have games that are deep narratives. I wouldn't call, in my personal experience, I would not call Super Mario Land a deep narrative experience.
Yeah,
really?
That's true.
Huh,
I wouldn't. So
I guess
games.
I'll move it in the categories here.
Yeah, so just move the categories around.
Yeah.
But games are kind of, not all of them, but there's a huge chunk of the market that isn't narrative-driven experiences and that have narrative mode or story mode built in so that for people who just want to experience the story. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that because it's a narrative experience. The whole thing is built around a story. So if somebody wants to hear a story but they suck at shooting or something, like, is that wrong? I'm just saying.
No. Well, we're going back to Call of Duty. You know, a lot of people think that the meat of Call of Duty, the heart and the soul of it, is the multiplayer. And then there are some people that only get Call of Duty for the single player experience.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't have one, then they don't buy Call of Duty. Like that was the whole deal with Titanfall. Titanfall came out and Respawn didn't have a single player mode, and they were like, what?
Yeah, the peoples were clamoring for it.
Yeah, because a lot of people, and I get this because I'm one of them. Like, why do I care about these giant robots falling from the sky?
If we don't know where they came from.
Yeah, what's the point? what's my emotional investment in this?
Yeah, well, like that's what I like about games is narrative, and I've gotten better at the technical stuff the more games that I've played. But really, like my game style is I'm in it for a narrative. So I have no shame. I'll play on easy mode. If it's too easy, then I'm like, if it's too easy, it's not, for me, it's not fun. So I'll play on normal.
Yeah, normal's like, I feel like if I go easy, like I'm just kind of missing out on some stuff. So I'll always do normal. I don't know.
I will play on easy. And, so I'm not talking down to anybody who
you're a baby,
feels this way.
Oh,
Matt is, but I'm not. Yeah. Because I'm one of those guys that I just want to experience the story. And we were joking around before rolling. It's like, you could just watch a YouTube video. And sometimes I do, like if it's a walking sim, like I don't have really any desire to play that. But
I watched Firewatch on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm interested in the story, so I'll just watch the movie of it, and or a streamer or whatever. But so here's the downfall of this stuff, right? Like here's the softness of games, is that some of these games will just progress the story on whether you've actually beat it or not.
Yep.
Like you fail, and it's like, oh well, that was part of the story anyway. Here we go, yada yada yada. So it's not.
You get the gist.
It's not forcing you. Yeah, it's not forcing you to be good or to go back
to overcome your challenge.
Yeah,
that's kind of like
good
sorry,
enough,
go ahead. The game Beyond Two Souls automatically just popped in my head when you were saying that. Like, it doesn't matter if you miss the cues on screen. It's like whatever. That it'll affect maybe the outcome of the scene, but there is no
You don't lose forever.
You don't lose forever. It just affects the story. So,
Well, with Red Dead 2, if
it's
you
just-
continue to fail the same mission, they will ask if you want to skip. Basically, I did it once and not realizing what it was. I couldn't
that's what
beat
they
this
all
freaking
say.
cougar. So they asked, like, you can just skip that whole scene, like you did it, and then you can kind of like go from there.
So was it like an animal cougar, or was it an older
Well,
lady?
I don't
that's
wanna
what I was going to
I
say
don't
is,
wanna
did you try
spoil it.
talking to her?
Well, I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, spoilers, yeah,
yeah. You can just play it.
Thanks for leaving that tension. Appreciate it.
Yep.
So what are some things that games have done to facilitate this change from like a harder aspect to what some would say a more playable experience with games?
Well, I mean, we talked a little bit about easy mode. And I know that parents will probably praise this next one with their kids, that games have more consistency in their save points.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Because, you hit your limit and you're like, all right, let's turn it off. And then the kids are like, I can't, I'm so far along. But now you're like,
Just 6
this
more
game,
hours,
this
Mom."
game saves automatically. Don't you dare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you a like place to restart. And
Yep.
They've
Which is
really
great.
integrated it into like open world games. Save points clear up more of the map as you reach them and save. And they've turned it into, I don't know, a little more.
Well, I mean, you have
Gaming.
autosave.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to do a thing. It's like anytime you load into a space,
Yeah.
that's the tooltip, right? Anytime you see the symbol, please don't shut down your machine
Mm-hmm.
because it is auto saving.
Yeah.
So, unless
True.
it's Red Dead and you're trying to revive Horbins.
I mean, you just go back to when your horse is alive. So we also have heavily guided tutorial sessions, and often beyond the tutorials, we have the game will just give you hints throughout it. Like if you're doing
Yep.
something wrong or you can't figure something out for 5 minutes,
Yep. Like me with
Try
that
pushing this
Tomb
block
Raider
here.
demo where she was telling me like, I should try doing this. And I'm like, I already did that. Shut up.
well, maybe
But it turned
you
out
should
that
get
was the
good.
thing. Well, I just didn't understand what she was saying. That's the problem. But
Well, I think that was the next evolution, right? So, like the
Yeah.
real hand-holdy stuff of these really long tutorial levels that sometimes will span almost the entire game. The next evolution was when they started recording dialogue for the characters that
I
are
would
like,
press
"Hey,
Y
maybe you
right
should
now."
Try open
Yeah.
the door.
Do a barrel roll.
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead.
No, I don't even know what I was going to
Just
say.
do a barrel roll. That's all you're
Now
gonna say.
that's all that's in my brain.
Yeah. So these are some of the things that we've been thinking about and some of the changes that we think have taken place. And we realize there are some hard games out there, those hardcore games where that used to be the norm, but that is definitely not the norm. But we'd
Yeah.
love to hear from you guys. Like, what do you think's changed? Why do you think it's changed?
do you play on easy mode?
Do you play in
or
easy
not?
mode? Yeah, I don't.
I do.
Well, most of the time I do, but I very frequently have started a character in Diablo 3 under the hardcore permadeath mode where
Ooh-wee.
Diablo 3, it's a loot grab dungeon crawler where you're just spending hours doing this. You're grinding, and when you die, you're dead. All your stuff is gone.
that'd
No
make a
more
tombstone for you in
powers,
real
no
life.
more anything. Yeah. That doesn't happen so much anymore. There are like roguelikes and stuff like that have
Yeah.
permadeath. But like Matt was saying, it used to be the norm. You didn't have to advertise this game had permadeath because every game had a game over screen.
Yep.
Yeah. Cattails has a game over screen. A cat dies in a battle.
But you go back to a save state though, yeah.
Or I accept death.
Well,
Those are the two options
Horpins
that it says.
needs to live.
Yeah,
The
Horpins
spirit
had
of
a game over
Horpins.
screen.
Oh,
I let him die.
well.
Well, like Matt said, let us know, guys. How do you play games? Do you want to just get through them with ease, or do you want to be severely punished and challenged while you're playing games? I know that streamers really love the punishing type because that's what people want to watch. But some people might want to watch you breeze through Cattails. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, well, if I watch somebody streaming a hard game like that, it would give me anxiety.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
So
it's just saying.
just let us know on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter what you guys think. How do you play games? We're genuinely interested in that. And maybe, I don't know, you'll get lucky and we'll read your tweet next week, or your Facebook message, or your Insta story thing, whatever that is.
Story, yeah.
Comment.
There it is. I was getting there. But guys, that's going to do it for us on episode 43 of the Free Play Podcast. Please be sure to check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, and anywhere else that podcasts are found. And if you can't find us where you listen to podcasts, please let me know, and I'll do my best to get us on there. If you're not already a part of the Love Thy Nerd Facebook group, just freaking do it. Go to Facebook and type in Love Thy Nerd Community, and then we'll let you in. You got to answer a couple of easy questions just to make sure you're not a robot, and we will let you straight into the community, the meme hotbed of the internet, as it were. Kind of a dark corner sometimes, but it's there. It's a corner
It's not
nonetheless.
the dark webs, but it's not light.
The dark webs is just on the other side of the community.
Wow.
Absolutely, yeah. Don't enter any credit card information on the Love Thy Nerd community. So go ahead and join us there. And also, you can find the Love Thy Nerd family on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search at Love Thy Nerd on all applicable platforms. Please be sure to follow Free Play Podcast on Twitter at Free Play Podcast for some of the most juiciest tweets that you will find all
juicy.
the interwebs. Oh, man. Guys, thank you so much for listening all the way to the end of the show. My name is Bubba Stallcup.
I'm Matt Warmbier. Wait, and you also, we're doing a giveaway. Or not a giveaway.
crap,
Buy
we're
a
doing a
raffle.
giveaway.
Buy a raffle ticket.
Raffle away.
Buy
Yeah.
a raffle ticket.
So we're raffling off a bunch of stuff. It's a Dice Throne package. You can check it all out. It's a season 1, season 2, 2 play mats, a Dice Throne con, super pack, everything. It's so great. You're going to want to get in on that. It's only $10 a ticket, and there's no limit. This is well over like $250 worth of stuff,
It's a steal.
and you can get it for $10, possibly.
Well,
But there
$10
isn't-
or more.
Yeah, I'm heavy emphasis on the or more. So go and buy some tickets, guys. We are going to run this raffle all the way through April Fool's Day. And somebody brought that up, and I promise it's not a joke. But that is the last day for the
Gotcha.
raffle. And to prove it, we will not release the name on the first. We'll release it on the second so that you know that we're serious.
and all of the proceeds for this go to Love Thy Nerd, so we can continue to do this and run the website and other podcasts and all the awesome things that we're doing.
Absolutely.
So it's for a
all
good
of the
cause.
things that we do. Yeah, it's kind of Matt's favorite cause.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, well, not to brag or anything, but we happen to be Matt's favorite cause.
Well, that and the
kind of
Matt
a big
Warmbier
deal.
Foundation, yeah.
But yeah, you're going to want to go to lovethynerd.com/store. And you'll be able to find the raffle right there, or you can go to lovethynerd.com/raffle. It'll be there as well. Either way, however you get to it, please, please, please make sure that you are getting in on this. If you believe in us at all, one ticket would help. So, but you might also get some really dope stuff out of it, because we think that Dice Throne is pretty swag, and we want to help you get involved in playing that game as well. Once again, that's lovethynerd.com/store. Or if you just want to partner with us in general, you can go to lovethynerd.com/partner, and we would love, love, love to have you be a part of what we're doing here. Like I said before, once again, I'm Bubba Stallcup.
I'm Matt Warmbier.
I'm Kate Katawaki.
It me.
And for our cut man, Jonathan Clausen, we'll catch you next week. And remember, Jesus loves you, nerd.
You have been listening to the Free Play Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Katawaki, part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network. Be sure to rate and review the show and share on all the social media.
Heart mode activate.